My name is Dr. Mustapha Abdul-Hamid. I'm Minister for Information, Republic of Ghana, and also spokesperson for the President of the Republic of Ghana. Well, the World Press Freedom Day is a day that is set aside by UNESCO, of course, with the endorsement of the United Nations, for promoting and highlighting issues of press freedom around the world, issues of free speech, issues of good governance, and if you want, even accountability. Now, these are very important issues for promoting global good governance and for eradicating poverty and also fighting corruption and holding leaders to account and so on. And so Ghana agreed to host this year's World Press Freedom Day because, of course, in Africa, we are basically the poster boy for democracy in Africa. I mean, Ghana is held in very high regard, as far as our democratic credentials are concerned. There are only very few countries in Africa that have the enviable record of changing governments, and for that matter, political parties, through free, fair, and transparent elections. We are fortunate at this time in our history to have a president who led the repeal of the criminal libel law in our country that has virtually allowed the press to blossom in our country. The proliferation of news media in our country is quite an enviable record in Africa. We have 350 active radio stations in our country, over 45 newspapers, over 16 television stations that are all, if you want, doing the kinds of things that they want to do without let or hindrance. Well, it is important that the Ghanaian media especially show an interest in the World Press Freedom Day, not only because the entire international media will be descending on Ghana, and therefore the international media itself is very interested in the event, but also because it is important that the Ghanaian media show to the world that indeed the repeal of the criminal libel law and the democracy that we operate is basically, driven by them. The media in Ghana prefer to call themselves the fourth estate of the realm, basically saying that they are the fourth arm of government, if there is anything like that. And therefore, as a fourth arm of government, an official fourth arm actually, they have a stake, in our democracy, in our peace, in our development, in our forward movement, and etc., etc. And therefore, it is important that they own this event and show that our democracy is continuing to thrive basically on the back of the kinds of things that they do. Many people across the world will come, the head of UNESCO, former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, our own president, vice president, all of our ministers of state, ministers of information across Africa will all be here. There are former heads of state of various African countries that have been invited. I mean, it is a two-day event in which, if you want, basically all the people that matter in the world would be here in Ghana. And therefore, it is important that as Ghanaians, we show an interest in this event. Well, the main highlights are basically the opening ceremony. Apart from the opening ceremony, there will be an academic conference within the period that the event is being held, where academics will present papers on democracy, on good governance, and so on. So apart from, if you want, coming there to have fun, there would also be a lot of education and a lot that people who come there would learn. The theme of the event itself is keeping power in check, media justice, and the rule of law. Now, at the end of it all, there would also be the UNESCO Guillermo Kano World Press Freedom Prize, where journalists who have distinguished themselves in various areas of the journalistic endeavor, will be given awards. The opening ceremony would be done by the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The President of the Republic himself would be at the dinner and awards night. So there would also be a welcome cocktail at the International Press Center, which basically will be hosted by the Ghana Journalists Association and so on. So there's quite, if you want, a motley of events that will excite everybody's interest. My message to everybody else is that you cannot get a better opportunity to market either your organization or your product than this. And I'm sure this comes once in a lifetime, basically, because I don't know when else Ghana would have the opportunity to host an event like that. We are going to have perhaps over 500 international visitors coming into Ghana. They are going to come with dollars, with pound sterling, with euro, all kinds of currencies, and they are going to spend this money. So it's an opportunity for you to partner us, to come on board, to sponsor, to associate with us in whichever form, because it's going to give your product or your organization visibility, and therefore you are going to get a lot of patronage. Whatever money that you put into this event, I believe that there will be enough dollars and euros circulating in Ghana those few days for you to be able to plow back your profits. What I can add is that I am personally very excited that God put me in this ministry at this time to be the host minister for this event. I'm not sure that of the over 6 billion people on earth, even 0.0001% of the world's population get an opportunity to be where I am. So I am very, very excited. And therefore, I look forward to being a part of this history that is going to be made. And therefore, I call on everybody else to try and be part of this history as well.